Good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Miss V, aka Valerie Marie, and this is the It Gets to a Point podcast, episode 13. This episode is all about what is your therapy, okay? What is your therapy? Because guess what? In the United States, where I am based, it has been a lot lately. And I know that everybody is looking for a way to make a way. So for me, I ask you, what is your therapy? What are you doing to stay sane when there are a lot of things happening that is out of your control? What are you doing to create your own wave of therapy, whether it be from business to personal? Have you asked yourself, what is your therapy? What do you do to create a safe space after working the 9 to 5, after traveling, after being a parent, after being a worker, after running a business? What is your therapy? So today, this is all about creating a safe space, but a very transparent space, and also a space that assists you in ways to move out of your own way and to realize, what can I do to pivot? I want to give you more of a personal standpoint, some of the tips and tricks that I have done when it has came to my own mental health and healing my own mental nervous system after leaving the banking institution and leaving the banking corporation, because it was just not a good look for me. Okay, so let's get into episode 13 by giving some storytelling, some tips on what is your therapy, and some ways to achieve excellence without knocking the next man or woman down. So just to give you a backstory on me, I started my podcast off, It Gets to a Point, because I was like in a very low point in working at banking, TD Bank to be exact. And it was the worst experience out of all the jobs that I have ever had. I would say to have worked for this particular company, especially in Jim Crow South, meaning from South Carolina, it was just not a fit for me. I'm very bad at lying, and I'm very bad at acting like I'm okay when I'm not. And what I realized in banking, far as like banking, not credit union, but banking, that there is a lot of games that have to be played, and there is a lot of shenanigans. And for me, because I just want to come to work, do what I need to do, go to lunch, clock back in, do what I need to do again, meeting my customers, meeting my paperwork, all the things. I don't want to come to work and have to do my boss's job. I don't want to have to come to work and clout chase. I just don't. And if you ask me a question, I'm going to be honest. But then when you don't get the feedback that you like or want, it seems to be a problem. So what I realize is that is just not something that I'm interested in. Living a lie or working for businesses and corporations that do not help my growth, okay? And we are in 2026, hence the world is behind by far the United States capitalists of America, because everybody wants to be the chief. But there's not enough Indians, metaphorically, hypothetically speaking. No one wants to have those uncomfortable conversations. No one wants to take responsibility for you just because you have a title or entitlement or proximities. You feel that you're above the program. No one gets it right. And just because your boss is your boss, that person is human. They may act like they have it figured all out, but 9 times out of 10, they're probably fighting for their life deep down inside of their skin. They're just not able to explain it because you're not the safe space for them. Now, on the flip side, what is your therapy is knowing when working these jobs, are you getting jobs that reflect your personality? Meaning, if you are a people person and you want to be able to do people jobs, are you working in the fields, going on Glassdoor, reading up on these places of employment to assist you in your journey? Because just because the dollar signs sound good, and I'm speaking from a very transparent place as a 41-year-old mother and a woman that is educated with a bachelor's degree, a bachelor's in administrations, in a bachelor's in administrations, as well as having multiple different jobs and hats that I wore, for working in telemarketing, to working in mental health, to working in banking, and so on and so forth, collections globally. Like, what is it that you can do to create and find your therapy? For me, a strong work ethic was embedded in me from my grandparents. My mother was never well, so she was never able to fully be present. So her parents had to step in. And on the flip side, my father was never there. So on the other end, his parents had to fully step in. So with me, it's almost like I'm 41 years old, but the way that I see life is a little bit different, because when elders have raised you and they put a certain, work ethic in you, you're not going to be your typical 41 years old. I'm not looking for handouts. I'm not looking to be seen. I'm not looking to be validated. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so I know who I am, and no job, no titling, no validation defines me. And this was not an overnight process, babe. This was me just flowing throughout life and navigating and pivoting and trying different jobs, different titles, having different experiences, networks, all of the things, and realizing this was all a part of the plan. Because as a person that enjoyed change, by far, I'm a Libra. I don't want to be doing the same thing 100 years. I would like, after a year or two, to try something different. I'm all about the pivot. I'm all about the communication. And I'm all about being my unique self. And I will not apologize for it. I had an interview some time ago, and what really behooved me, that the lady that interviewed me was a black or brown woman like myself. And when she finished interviewing me, she told me congratulations. And I say, well, what do you mean? Congratulations for me, years ago, going to achieve excellence and getting my degree. I thought that was a bit inappropriate and gaslighting and highly narcissistic to an extent, because why are you congratulating me for doing something that we're told to do? If we want to have a better life for our family, for ourselves, we have all, especially in the Deep South, told that your education or your gift is going to be your gate meal ticket out of whatever you're trying to grow and pivot. So I don't think people realize that watching your words and how you conduct business does matter, and how words can come off aloof. And for me, I know I haven't had the best boss, and I may have had two. And that was earlier on in my career that I could say was really good, highly ethical, did what all they could do to support me, and there was really no error. As a woman and as a woman of color, for me, what I realized in banking is highly male-centered. And if you're not a part of this cult-based following, or if you don't just go along with the flow, it just seems to be a problem. So I don't think that's the type of environment I want to be in. I want to be in an environment where in 2026, we should be past all the toxicity in corporate. In 2026, we should be past all of the people. What are you coming to work for if you're not coming to work? If you're coming to spread negativity and brainwash people to believe your lies, like, I just feel like in general, and it's not just necessarily banking, it is in all industries, that people care more about gossip, lies, and deceit than they care about doing their damn jobs. And that's just the bottom line. And that's on all levels and aspects and titles. So don't think because you're the CEO or the COO, you're safe, because you are not. If people will focus on their work ethic and their responsibilities instead of trying to bump down what you should be doing, because that's what you get paid the big bucks for, then maybe, just maybe, this world will be a much better place. So that is where we pivot into what is your therapy, because a lot of people that you're putting your work on, that you're getting paid the salary for, but because they don't want to tussle with their boss and they don't want to be retaliated upon, because we know how shady businesses can be, and we're seeing it live and direct in the great United Capitalist State of America. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what is my therapy? We're not expecting perfect jobs, because there's no perfect man or woman. We are expecting to be respected, for you to actually follow your handbook and to be ethical. And quite frankly, that doesn't really happen. You get these big, thick HR handbooks that tell you all the things and all of what you need to know, give you a grand finale mission statement. But then when you go inside of the building, you realize everything that is in that book is complete shit. Because when it comes to you being protected, is HR going to protect you? Absolutely not. They're going to protect the company. They're going to be mutual. But at the end of the day, how can you thrive in proximities with a boss or group of people that are highly insecure, insubordinate, incompetent, and don't care? Is morally impossible. The best thing you can do is do all that you can do and leave. It taught me my freedom. It taught me that, yes, I may have given some years to something, that I can't take the years back, but it taught me a lesson. It taught me a valuable lesson that regardless of a situation, however it's intended to work out, that you continue to keep going, because that is not the end all be all for me. Now, hence, it may be for you, but one thing about me, I pivot always. And I'm very big on discernment, and I'm highly big on critical thinking skills, and never putting all my eggs in one basket. So I've always been blessed to be able to move forward, because I'm not looking for validation like you, sweetheart. I'm not looking to belong in an organization that has clearly done everything in their power to make me look like I'm the bad guy, okay? I don't look for those type of things. You need the validation. You need the titles and the entitlement. Babe, I would rather not. Because one thing about me and my good old Libra self, I'm going to choose my nervous system every time. And you're going to be stuck in that cycle of confusion with no way out. And your sister girl won't be there with you to attest to it. So I had to figure out, what is your therapy, Valerie? What can you do to pivot in situations that are very uncomfortable for you? Who can you talk to? What can you do? What is it that is going to bring you the peace that you've always desired? Now, what worked for me is I invested back into my music, because on the flip side of my business attributes and all I've poured in for my professional portfolio, I am also an artiste, meaning a creative, multi-hyphenate. I write music, by far poetry. I've been winning spelling bees since I've been in second grade. I'm 41 years old to speak. Everything that could have went wrong in my life, even my life almost getting taken in 1999, I still kept going. I am a brave soul, and my name, Valerie Marie, means brave, strong star of the sea, which my grandfather named me. And I am so thankful for that protection, because no matter how metaphorically the waters get unclear or uncertain, there's a level of faith and bravery that I've always had since a little girl, that I don't really care enough. Does it hurt me when people do things that they know that they're doing is not right? Absolutely. Does it make sense half the time? No, because most of it is based on a narrative and jealousy. And when you have to create a narrative and just like try to get other people to hate another person off of the color of their skin, or to hate another person because you're jealous of how they don't need your title to draw a crowd or to really interact in a professional standpoint. So for me, I'm not going to dim my light or apologize for my accomplishments, because you choose not to make the best out of what you're doing. And the only thing that you have on your resume is a pizza parlor that doesn't have anything to do to me. No excuses and shout outs to the pizza parties, because boy, do I love a good pizza. But at the end of the day, what I achieved in my life is my business. And what I choose to do with my life is my business. And the things that I've poured into myself to educate myself as a very strong, educated, beautiful black woman that has a portfolio professionally and personally that I cannot fit on 3 pages, that I have to sum it down. I will not apologize for my achievements. So if you're looking for me, I can't speak for anyone else, to apologize for being attractive, I will not. If you're looking for me, I cannot speak for anyone else, to apologize for my achievements, without having to use or need a man to do it, because that's never been a part of my society. I won't apologize for it. There is no knight in shining armor before meeting my lifetime partner that came into my life and said, oh, I'm going to just lay everything out for you. I did it because that's what I had to do. As a young mother, there was no sitting around and waiting. You had to work, and you had to work very hard. So to assume, because I'm attractive, to assume that I'm fashionably expertise in it, as a Libra, I'm coming, and I'm coming fabulous, and I'm coming fine. But I'm also a woman of clear discernment that I know regardless of proximities, being at the water cooler, if my boss is highly jealous of me or my peers are threatened by me, when they should absolutely be inspired, is not going to get me where I need to go, because it is not a fit and you're going nowhere too far with stagnated, toxic work environments. So what I did to find my therapy is I let go of the one thing that provided for me, let go of the one thing that assisted with my household funding financially, and that is to make a sacrifice and leave. I know it sucks. I know it doesn't make sense, but sometimes the best thing a person can do for you is let you go, or you let it go. And that is business or personal, because what are you benefiting from something or someone that does not show up for you? What are you benefiting when everything is just a game? What are you benefiting when it's just bland, unseasoned, and nobody really has any type of like human like ways? Like it's so barbaric. Like, what is it that you're getting to be with unemotional individuals that only see you as a paper pushing product, that they don't even recognize you as a employee? You're just another number in the foundation. I did what was best for my mental health, and I have no makeup on, and I think I look quite well. That I started to heal when I realized every job, regardless, is not a fit for me when it's going to affect my mental health. Every person in my relationships, whether it be family or friends, sometimes the ship sails on, and that is okay, because when it comes to protecting my nervous system, as much as I have given selflessly and given so many people grace, when I sat with myself and realized there was absolutely no one that was willing to give me the same grace as I gave them, I realized that this time around, this version of Valerie, she's not as simple, and she's definitely not as nice. She is respectable, she is professional, and she is concerned, by far empathetic, but I will not sacrifice myself anymore for a company. I will not sacrifice myself anymore for people, places, or things, because I do matter. And it may not matter to you that I matter, but because this is my life and this is how I'm living, and I have no reason whatsoever to apologize, to just want to do things with my family, to just want to be in a safe space, not a perfect place, but a place that is not deflecting and projecting because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Now everyone has to pay for it because you have a boss that is depressive. You have a boss that is manic. That is not the story for me. And by far, as a creative, being able to know things in advance and feel it, I don't like being in unsafe places. And I'm never going to like being in unsafe spaces and places. And I'm always going to advocate that I do not like it. And that is okay. What I need leadership to understand, that you do not need to throw your titles around and your privilege, because we get it. You're getting the big bucks. We get it, but we also get that you're human. And tomorrow is not promised for any of us. But what I've realized finding your therapy is people not moving like they're trying to find their therapy. They're using their wife, they're using the cat, they're using the dog, they're using the husband, the partner, the children, the scheduling, the work title, entitlement, the privilege, woman, man, whoever, whatever, as an excuse to be an asshole. Why is it okay? Because you finally got to get what you've always wanted. And you two have been in a position or worked a job where you just didn't have the best team. And instead of changing the narrative of a broken narrative of very toxic, hostile work environments, you go and do the same thing that your nasty, despicable scumbag of a boss do. And you become that same despicable scumbag. And it's sad. It is a cycle that never stops because no one wants to have the tough conversations. And 9 times out of 10, the farther you go up the ladder in the corporate world, by far sweet suit, so to speak, the more nonchalant people get, the more heartless they become. Because now that you have this fixed salary and you're able to see things and you're able to travel and you're able to connect, can you stay human amongst all of that? Amongst the sensitive changes, amongst all the different things that's going on, can you stay human? A lot of people forget that they're human because they get caught up in routine. They get caught up in time, and they're not attentive to having emotions because they're sitting 7, 10, 11 hours in meetings, from Zooms to round table, that you forget to be human. Then when you forget to be human, you forget to look in the mirror and see you've gained 5 to 10, 15 pounds. You forget to really spend time with your children. You miss out on a lot of milestones because you became so routine and militant to giving your entire life to a company that is not even your business. You're just the COO, CEO, regional manager, or regular worker, and you're doing all of this that at any given time, if you're not suitable for this particular company, hence you've given your all, many years, you've done so much, it is overlooked when you're no longer what they want. So was it worth it? Was it absolutely worth it to step on people's toes that just wanted to change the broken narrative that hurt people? Absolutely not. What is it to you that makes you so insecure when it comes to me, that you wake up in the morning and want to dumb down or dim the light of another man or woman? What is it that you don't have in your soul that makes you so pissed that you wake up and say, well, whose life I'm going to cause chaos in? That's absolutely fraud, and it's zero accountability there that I'm going to need you to practice. And also, coming from corporate America, I know we get some of the most best health packages. I'm going to need you to go online and look up your free therapy. Most times with your healthcare packages, you're going to get in between 5 to 7 free therapy sessions, and you need to figure it out. It does not matter your position. It does not matter your title. But you need to really make it make sense to what are you doing. If you're just coming to work, checking in, leaving, I don't want to hear about your routine. I don't want to hear about the newest product. I don't want to hear about the newest sale. What are you doing to find your therapy besides making your employee's life a living hell and miserable? It is just not about uplifting your managers, because 9 times out of 10, your employers, your everyday frontliners do a lot more. But they get left behind in certain corporations and businesses because nobody pays attention to the clerk. Nobody really cares about the teller. Nobody really sees what the office assistant has to do to assist the office and how important she is when she's been doing it for 30 years and how everything come crashing and burning after she's retired. Because as long as things are going good in corporate America, nobody stops to see how it could be going bad. Because I want to tell you what a lot of businesses stopped doing. A lot of managers got so comfortable with DoorDash and Uber and Lyft that they forgot to lift and go see the company, go see the money, go see the people beneath you to make sure you're having the conversations with your regular workers and not just your manager, because you don't know what the hell they could be hiding. What is your therapy when you go home and lay your head down and you go to your families? Are you content with how you've done your day, how you've spent your day? Or are you just going to nonchalant say how you have this? I got to do this. I got to do that. There is no I and we. And I'm quite frankly over the fancy corporate titles that we continue to throw around and parade around as if it's some type of reward system. You earned that title, I will hope. I will hope you didn't have to do anything strange for change to be in the position that you're in. So I'm hoping and I'm cheering for you. But can you cheer for me? Or are you going to use my inspiration to be threatened by it, my inspiration to be intimidated, and to make it seem like I'm your target practice for your bad day? That's the problem. Me being a life advocate and working in different places and spaces, realizing we have a lot of people bragging about titles, but not a lot of people really having the heart and the compassion they once had when they first got the job. That you started off being the best sandwich maker and now you're forgetting half of the ingredients because you're exhausted. You want to pivot. You've mastered making the sandwiches and now you want to be the chef. But when you don't have mentors that are willing to give you the chance, willing to bank on you and bet on you, how can you grow even if being in proximities when nobody fully believes in you? Nobody really knows half of the talents that I have because nobody else really paid attention. And that's fine. You're just giving my future career, my future opportunities to see what you didn't have the time to see. And not only is it going to be a two-way street to where I'm going to be making the money you never will ever get to see, but I'm also going to be beneficial to the company that I am going to grow and thrive in. And I'm happy to say that I am where I need to be. So no matter what, just know your therapy within life, and just know sometimes you may have to let go of that one thing you never thought you would have to let go. And depending on the situation, you may have to do it involuntarily or not, but have those very uncomfortable conversations with yourself. So by far, you can have them with your family. And I want to say this in the times that we're living in. If you are a man, a woman, even if you are married and you have a setback, because I do want to show empathy for the families and the 700K women of color and all of the people that are unemployed right now at this particular time, that I want to say to you, never be ashamed to start over. Never be ashamed that you have to start over, because the best is yet to come. That was for a moment and not for a lifetime. So if you have to go back home to mom and dad's to save money, don't see it as a lesson. See it as a blessing, but also see it as a lesson as well. See it as that the goal that you once had is it may not be the way that you more so thought, but see this as a standpoint. See it as a temporary and I wouldn't necessarily say setback. See it as a standpoint. See it as a stop sign, metaphorically, to where as if you are the car and you're waiting to go. And you're waiting to do it ethically without any accidents towards others or yourself. That see it as this is the time you can save money. This is the time that you can get to know yourself and your partner. And never be ashamed, because if life happens and your partner or just individually yourself, you can't carry all that weight. Be thankful and show gratitude that you have a family that is able to let you stay and build up again. And also, while you're there, don't just take advantage of your parents. Help out. Cook a favorite childhood dish. Watch a movie. This is the time for you to bond, because you never know why God will position you back to something. It may be something you missed then that you didn't really realize it. So don't think that you having a setback is a setback. It's a restart. And sometimes we don't always get comfortable or feel comfortable when we have to reset and restart. But I'm going to tell you something that really changed my life, and that is finding my therapy and living within my truth and taking full accountability that I am not always able. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to have it figured all out. I'm not going to have all the answers. But genuinely, deep down in my heart, I can tell you one thing I got is I have a whole lot of love. I have a whole lot of education. And I have a whole lot of thanks. Meaning, I am the table, the nails, the hammer. And whatever I put my mind to, I can do it. So when you are in situations, don't let the situation freak you out to think you can't pivot. You can do it, but it's a mind over matter thing. If you sit around being with anxiety and worry about everything what's going on with the world, you're one person. You cannot carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Do what you can to advocate and empathize, but just know you have to make sure you're doing what is best for you and healing your nervous system. And healing your nervous system may be going to the park. Healing your nervous system may be going out to get something to eat outside of work versus slumping over in the car, sitting for 5 to 10 minutes, taking a deep breath and driving home. Sometimes you need those breathers, and you should have a partner that actually empathizes that we are all human, and until we realize Rome was not built overnight, and nothing in this world was, including technology. It advanced over time, and you're going to have to give yourself time to know you're not going to have all the answers. Your job is going to evolve. Systems are going to change. People are going to change, and it's absolutely nothing you can do about it unless it is your own business and you control the wheel. But if you're not controlling the wheel, certain outcomes, even if that outcome to this day make you uncomfortable, you have to use your discernment. And this is just something that I am telling people on my platforms, just to advocate with all the crime fires are surrounding around racism on jobs, racism and systematic corruption in systems, as well as young black and brown individuals passing away due to hate crimes and segregation. That here's the thing. You should not just be teaching your children proximities. You should be teaching your children discernment and critical thinking, just in case. Because what's proximities if you are in the proximities of money, but the money ain't moneying, because the math ain't mathing, because those people don't like you. So yes, you're at the job. You're still doing the same thing for years, but you're stagnant. Nobody wants to be stagnant, and some people don't have a choice. But then and again, they do. They've just made their bed to be comfortable, to be where they think it's okay and safe, when it's really not safe at all. But yet you're mad at the one that spoke up. You're mad at the one that chose themselves and refused to abide by breaking the practices in the laws that are not supposed to be. So the law it's not supposed to be for you, but it's supposed to be for me. So it's okay for you to break the rules on the job, falsify documentation, do systematic corruption. But then the person that is actually calling it out, you want to twist the narrative like, I will never get how people will work overtime. I mean, overly, to create a narrative that was never there, because you just can't admit that you're jealous. You just can't admit that you're threatened, and you just can't admit that you feel like shit. So instead of admitting that you're a coward, you want to make the next man or woman's life a living hell, because a coward does cowardly things and hide their hands. But let me tell you something that I have that you may not have, if that's the role that you're playing, is I have a whole lot of faith. I have a partner that loves me. I have a family that loves me. I have a team that loves me. And I have myself. By far, out of all of that, I love me. And because I love me, regardless of if I'm up, regardless if I'm here, regardless if I'm there, that my confidence is not about my weight. My confidence is not about my appearance. My confidence is not even about my education. It is about knowing everything that I've ever done is because I've betted on me. And everything that I've ever done is because I refuse to give up. And I refuse to allow insecure women and insecure men, regardless of entitlement, proximity, or privilege, to tell me who I am. I am Valerie Marie Jones, and I will not apologize for my accomplishments. So if you're waiting for me to apologize for my accomplishments, that I stayed up and down, 40-hour job, a full-time mother, as well as going to school full-time, writing papers, doing everything that I can within me, and there is no knight in shining armor that's going to take that credit. I did those papers late in night. I'm the one that met my deadlines. And if I feel I was uncomfortable with something and my instructor did not grade me properly, I'm the one that had to advocate for myself. Because as an adult going to school at a university, that's what you do. Take accountability. And if something is not right, you use your voice and you make it happen. But it is a way to go about it professionally, respectfully, that I don't have to do half of the things that people have to do to play along. A lot of people kiss a lot of ass because that's all you know to do. And you really don't like the person like that for real. I've heard the conversations. I've been in the proximities of the water cooler. I've seen all the things. I stay in Jim Crow South. There is absolutely nothing that hits this media, this internet, that I can say, oh my God, how did they? No, Why is this still a repeated pattern? Why is this constantly happening? And what are we going to do about it? At the end of the day, your therapy and finding your therapy is when you look in the mirror, you can make peace with the man or woman that you're becoming. Are you becoming better or are you declining? You can feel it if you're always having headache, something is not right. I would advise using your medical insurance and going to the doctor. If you don't feel in place and you feel uncertain and you feel uncomfortable, maybe it's time to kind of like clear the room and have those uncomfortable conversations that you've been, by God, running from for years. That we, again, teach our children how to be in proximities, but we do not teach them discernment and critical thinking skills. That everything is not going to go your way. But what can you do to navigate? Do you need to just get your bags and go? Take a risk, gamble, and bet on yourself? Or do you need to have those uncomfortable conversations? Now, sometimes, especially in business, uncomfortable conversations, as much as we would like for corporate America to go along with the flow and they tell you come as you are, they don't want you to come as you are. I promise you. Take it from me. Can they handle the truth that would set them free? Or is it just going to be past the accountability? Because who really wants to be accountable at the end of the day is the question we should be asking ourselves. We're going to have all these questions and answers about being married and doing all the things. But here's the thing. What are we selling marriage for like it's a product? So you want me to marry this man and he don't have his ducks lined up. So you want me to be in this place. And because my grandma got married, because in her time, she didn't have a choice, okay? And when you go back and have these conversations personally with elders that were born in that particular time, whether white or black or whoever, they didn't have a choice because it was the patriarch. It was more male-centered. You couldn't even get an account or a line of credit or furniture without being married. So ask the people that are still alive and well, what is their depiction on how it was in their time historically? And a lot of times from the conversations with the elders that I have had, that is a diverse group of more than black and white, they did what they had to do to survive, to keep their self well and alive and their children. There you go. So when a person is not ready to get married in their 30, 40, 50, stop pressuring them to do that. Because guess what? You're not even happy being married. So why would you want them? Everyone don't marry for money. Let me be clear. And everyone don't always feel comfortable marrying for proximities. Some people actually marry because they truly want to build and love and grow with their partner. Okay. That's what it is. So who said that there's some grand day or date that someone has to have, that if we're both still trying to figure it out with our individual selves, why me, you, her, he, she, put that pressure on each other to do something that we're not on the same accord? It's going to be miserable. If you're forcing something, nothing works out of forcing a narrative. I'd advise it not. Okay. And then it's the confidence. Women, male-centered. Being male-centered is not going to get you any brownie points at the table. If anything, it's going to get you used. Okay. Let's get out of this narrative with not having conversations to teach our young daughters to be pick-me's. Okay. To be in the proximities or to be male-centered. Because there is nothing cute about a grown-ass woman in her 60s that is highly insecure, married, and because you're in proximities of male-centered foundations and corporations, it makes you comfortable and it makes you a good worker to go along and turn the other cheek to things that you know hypocritically as you shoot, hoot, and holler, crying up and down the walls of this church. But you can't be honest when you know honesty is the best policy. Hence, we've all been taught that in grade school, right? But really, can you? Can you really be honest when it's time for you to be honest? A lot of you know. Because if it does not faze you, you have nothing to do with it. And 9 times out of 10, because you're fearing for your life and fighting for your life just to keep the little position that you have, you're going to turn the other cheek because you don't care. And when people don't care, they act like they don't care. They selfishly continue to come to these spaces and suffocate and take up space when they don't need to be there either, because they're not even any better. You're just as bad, if not worse, than the person that is creating toxicity. Okay. So what is your therapy? Let's step into that. My therapy, if I'm asking myself, is music, songwriting, singing, poetry, going to the garden, the public garden with my partner, with my family, and just enjoying picnics, walks, just more so like a nature call, just relaxing, beaches, resorts. A good resort hate to see me coming, because I'm coming. Water, absolutely 1,000%. Water, showers, anything water, drinking water. I mean, listen, it's a type of calm that I get, from water. And just sounds, just listening to music that calms the soul, listening and doing things that make me feel good. I'm very artsy and crafty, creating bouquets. I don't know, I'm multi-hyphen. There's really nothing that I cannot do. And even if I haven't tried it, if I visually, because I'm a visionary person, if I look at it, I can kind of figure it out after maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos. But if you put your mind to anything, even if you're a beginner, if you keep doing it, you'll get it right. Like when I first started off with lashes, since I don't have any lashes on right now, I ain't know how to put a lash on to save my life. But I just kept figuring it out, and I kept trying it. And I so happened to go on YouTube University. And it was a lady, I can't remember who she was. She was fair skinned, and she had brown hair, and she was showing the girls how to put them lashes on where they stay. Because for me, being a beginner person that is all about the beauty, having cosmetology, I forgot to add that, minus my business degree, went to school for cosmetology. My father did hair, his mother did hair, just gift of gab, jack of all trades, master of none. I realized that I needed to put the glue on and let it kind of get tacky. And that's when them lashes got the lashing. Now, again, I don't have any on today, but I'm telling you, if you do something long enough and you want to master it, even if you're a beginner at it, it's like making up a bed. Now, when you're teaching your child how to make up a bed, it's not going to be perfect. And I know if you got OCD or anything in that nature of like being super, super neat freak, you just got to kind of not look that way, because I have to tell myself that, and as time progresses, they'll get better and better and better and better. So yes, that's just what it is. And when I look at those metaphors, I'll be like, I may not know, or I may feel rusty at not sketching fashion and doing all the things that I used to do when I was a teenager. But that's not to say it's not still there. That's what the definition I would say of whimsy is not losing yourself in work, not losing yourself, your inner child, in jobs, in careers, in the things that you enjoy. That if you're a super sports person and sports makes you happy when you're not on the clock, why not? I don't care if it's like a $5 game. If you're a sports person, it's not even necessarily about being a professional sport. It's just about you enjoy the sportsmanship and you want to be involved and active. And if you are a female and you love fashion and beauty, and you want to go to TJ Maxx, or you want to go to Ross, or you want to go to Ulta Beauty, Sephora, or whatever, go do it. And even if you want to do it on a budget, you got Five and Below, you got Dollar Tree. You don't really have to. In 2026, the way technology has advanced, the way retail has advanced, banking has advanced, a lot of things have advanced. You don't really even have to go out the house to do a doctor's visit, depending on the technology or video camming that they have. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do things to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? You can take $25 and go get ice cream sundae kits. Hence, you may have to kind of chop it up because it's much more expensive in the grocery store than going and getting the sprinkles and the chocolate chips and things at the $1.25, which is Dollar Tree, because there's nothing $1 there. We'll need them to change that. But there's ways to work around it. And even when you get money, right, it's good to do a little shopping spree, because boy, do I like a good old shopping spree. But for me, as I am getting older and wiser and more like mature, I would use that mature, because I definitely don't look my age for 41. I'm so glad that I didn't let this world run me crazy. And it's not the world, it's more so the human beings. I would say I would want to be more into investing, because I love the beach so much. I think when I get my first $1,000,000, because I'm claiming it, I'm manifesting it, and I'm transmuting the negative to a positive, I think I want to buy a beach resort because I just love the beach. And because if you think about all the money you're spending in these hotel rooms and Airbnbs and all the things, getting a property and then maybe even turning that property into an Airbnb, when I just want to go there on vacation, I don't want to be there every day. That is my peaceful, humble endure. That I just want to find the ways to make money work for me even when I'm sleeping, and even enjoy my fruits of my labor. That my Airbnb, not only is it going to be able to be fully equipped and assist my clients that book it, but it's also going to be for me when I don't have it on the site and I want to go and spend time with my family. So not only am I making money, I'm still able to vacation as well. That's just like a little like manifestation thing I want to do in business. And also, hopefully get my songwriting out, to someone that is able, which there is some websites where I could like sell my music and stuff like that. But I'm just so particular. And with this world today, like, you could just be signing up for something, and if you don't read the fine printing, you're just giving up all your passion and all your art. And it's just like, what am I going to do? Am I going to sign over and give my songwriting and they make a prolific amount of money on my art that I did for the free because of the passion for it? I'm just gonna keep going and shopping around because I believe in me enough to where I don't want to settle for a couple $1,000s. I don't want to settle in general, because when you have had to settle before and you didn't know any better, when you do know better, you don't want to settle. And I ain't gonna settle. So yeah, when you have different gifts, you're never going to go hungry. You're never going to go without. And that's the good thing about being multi-hyphenate and finding my therapy is I am talented in many different ways, that I'm able to do multiple things. And the fact that I have people that look just like me and people who do not, that wants me to apologize for being able to do whatever I want when I want and how I want, and being gifted in areas that they were just not. I won't apologize for it. Take it up with your waymaker, your mama, your dad, and your God. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay? So let's stop apologizing for our greatness. Let's stop feeling like we're wrong for wanting what we want. Now, I get it. I may not want what you want, and that's fine. But do I got to beat you down, break you down, or try to suffer you because you don't agree with me? Like, I would never understand a psychopath like that. They just, because they just don't like you, they would go to the wits' ends to try to suffer you. Like, no, ma'am, no, sir. It's not my problem to be your problem, and it's not my problem to care. When you get my age, right, in your 40s, you reach a level of I don't give a F's, because when you've endured everything that could go wrong, and you've experienced the highs and lows in life, it's like the man said, life's a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get. And instead of taking it personal, you don't. I never take it personal anymore, because I realize a lot of things that go on, one, is out of my hand, and two, is already premeditated, and three, we create how long we want it to last. And the thing is, when something is not serving you, you have to find out your why in your therapy. What is your therapy? So whatever's going to bring you peace, just know that job is going to be there. That person is going to move on. And you have to find your happiness. Find the thing that is going to bring you peace. What is your therapy? Could be anything. There is no wrong or right way to finding your peace, to healing your nervous system, and to working on a better you for another tomorrow. So this is the It Gets to a Point podcast, episode 13. What is your therapy? We lock it back in and staying consistent in the episodes. I've got my hands in the lot. I'm blessed and highly favored. And when I tell you, I was fighting for my life to record this episode, because it's so much I'm doing, okay? And the best is yet to come, because when you believe in yourself, guess what? If you don't believe in you, who will? Exactly. So keep believing in yourself. Keep pouring into yourself. Keep believing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And even if you got to be a little delusional about it, even if you got to be a little Hensley manic about it, but don't go around hurt nobody. Believe in your dreams and don't stop. And never apologize for your accomplishments. This is the It Gets to a Point podcast. This is your girl, Miss V, aka Valerie Marie. And stay tuned to episode 14 coming up soon. This is episode 13. What is your therapy? Bye.